With the Stalingrad campaign just around the corner, we the Enlisted community have just gotten the Stalingrad progression of weapons, or to be exact, the weapons that we will be getting in Stalingrad. In this video, I will be talking about what weapons we will be getting in the Stalingrad update. So without further ado, let's get started with the video. By the way, my name is Napoleon, and I hope you enjoyed this video. The first thing that we have for Stalingrad is essentially Enlisted coming up to tell us that for level 25 and level 24, for the Allies and the Axis, level 25, the engineer squads for the Axis get the MKB-42. For those that do not know what the MKB-42 is by now, that is essentially the STG-44. Yes, engineers are now getting STG-44s. For level 24 Allies, you get the Thompson M21-30-28, and that is, yeah, Soviet Thompson, essentially an American Thompson given to the Soviets as Lend-Lease, and it's available for level 24. Next, another interesting weapon is the Duvia M39. What it is also it's known as the Carly. This Hungarian submachine gun appears at level 21 for the German army. The long barrel and powerful ammunition offer higher damage potential when compared to lighter submachine guns, but you may find that your first encounter with the recoil will leave a pain in your shoulder. If you're able to tame this beast, you'll have an excellent assault weapon with high single-shot accuracy, a high capability of 40 rounds, and a rate of close to that of the Soviet PPSH. Carly also comes with the two firing modes, semi-automatic and semi-automatic, making a very dangerous and versatile weapon. Just from the image that you see right here, it literally looks like a modified Beretta M38, I think. It looks like a modified Beretta M38. The magazine looks quite the same. The stock looks quite the same. But I'm pretty sure it's gonna have the same rate of fire as a Beretta, the one we have in Normandy, of course. But it's just gonna do more damage. Next thing we have is essentially neither side. We have neither side of Stalingrad is shy to use impressive weapons, even though they're recently in enemy hands. What that translates is that level 3 assault squads, or level 24 Axis, have the PPSH-41. Yes, you heard that correct. The Axis have the PPSH-41, but don't worry, it's only a trophy weapon. It is one of the most famous Soviet submachine guns in the service of the German assaulters. High rate of fire and decent accuracy at close range makes the weapon very suitable for the sight lines of Stalingrad. Also, additional news is that this version comes with a full-fledged drum magazine. What the heck? So, it's a German weapon. Sorry, it's a Soviet weapon captured by the Germans. That's very nice. And then we have the gunner squads for the Soviet at level 6 Allies. This time to get the Beretta Mod 30. I'm not even gonna try to be laughing at this point because, like, actually no, I should be trying. This Italian submachine gun is just as effective in the hands of Soviet soldiers. No duh. Especially in close quarters combat. Its accuracy will really come in play. Really? I'm sorry, but the one that we have in Tunisia legit sucks. The only downside to the Beretta is the rather limited 20-round magazine. You don't say, Sherlock. The Soviet and the Axis also get new vehicles. Attack Pilot 2, Soviet Axis, level 23, by the way, they get the Prozed 633. It's essentially a French attacker in the service of the Romanian Air Force. Unlike many similar machines, it comes with defensive gunner as well as frontal armament. But the main advantage here is that the two 200-kilogram bombs, combined with an experienced gunner at the rear, makes the Prozets a dangerous aircraft indeed. Next, for the Allies, at level 13, we get the KV-2L11. The pride of the Soviet engineers and most unpleasant surprises for the Germans, who faced the impregnable fortress of its first days of the war. The KV-1 is notable for its all-round 75mm of armor, which can prove immensely useful in urban combat. Congratulations, you give us a 75mm of armor. It should be as slow as heck, but there's only one problem. Like with most tanks, their weakest point is literally, under them. So literally what you have to do is just throw an explosive pack under the tank, then this slow as heck, heavy tank which is essentially only good for taking out enemy tanks. It's going to be useless against infantry. Next we have the Maxim. Like we suspected, the Maxim is already is going to be in game, and this time the Soviet engineers will be able to install legendary 1910 Maxim Machine Gun. It's it has a shield, by the way. This anti-bullet shield limits visibility, but also can take several hits intended for the shooter's head. So essentially, okay, from what you see in the image, there's a big gap in which where the head is usually is, meaning that whoever shoots at this gap is guaranteed to get a headshot. But it protects. It protects. Now, I see these wheels that they have right here. I don't know if you can move them, but from what I think, Red Army Engineers translates that into it's a mobile machine gun nest. So no, I don't think it can be moved. And then we have the updated models and animations. At the Battle of Stalingrad, soldiers were holding weapons that you already are familiar with other enlisted campaigns. That is a historical fact. Yes, Sherlock, that's the main reason why a lot of us are not playing this game. Sorry, playing this campaign. But this fact allows us to take the time to improve the quality of old models and improve your overall experience with weapons. We're working extensively on improving the looks of the weapons and their animations, worked on recoil, recording new sounds, and modeled the original sound effects, which will differ depending on the type of weapon and its muzzle configuration. Updated models. For the good old Beretta M38, BBSH-41, Mosin Carbine, MG42, and many other weapons, only their name remains unchanged. But there are... So here are a few examples. And we see here essentially the good old and new versions of the gun, and yeah. And the last part is which Enlisted, for weapon changes, they add the muzzle flashes and smoke for the Enlisted, which you can see right here. And then we have all Stalingrad levels, in which you essentially get okay. So basically, for those who don't know, Stalingrad currently has a system in which you have to pay for faster progression, and you get essentially all the levels in Stalingrad. If you pay, you essentially will have getting faster levels, so that should be good. All Stalingrad levels, you will be getting these levels very quickly if you own the full access pack, aka you have to pay money. But Stalingrad will also be open to the free-to-play player format. For only 60% of the campaign levels will be available to free-to-play players. Additionally, purchasing full access at any point will unlock the content of the levels you already completed. And boy oh boy do we have what weapons we have. For level 1, or stock weapons, every new soldier you get for the Soviets, you get a Mosin 1938 Carbine and a Car 98K. For the Trooper, level 1 Trooper, you get the Mosin 9130 and the Mannlicher M93 for Germans. For tanks, this is still level 1 by the way, you get the T-70. Germans, you get the Panzer 3J. Snipers, you get the Mosin 9130 sniper rifle. And the Germans, you get the Car 98 with this scope mount. Medics, yes, you get medics at level 2. Sorry, I'm a little bit sick, by the way. Medics, you get the PPSH-438 box. Germans, you get the MP28. Engineers, you get the Winchester for the Soviets, by the way. You get the Winchester 1895 for the Soviets. Mannlicher M1895 for the Germans. And for the premium, well, not the premium, but the full access, you get the TOS-B for level 4. And the Luftwaffe drilling rifle for the Germans. That is, obviously, you have to pay for this. Level 5, you get the fighter pilots, you get the Yak-7B, and for the Germans, you get the Bf-109E7U2. Gunners at level 6, you get the Beretta Mod 30, and for the Germans, you get the MG13. For level 7 is where you get another, you have to pay the pay level. I'm just going to call this, like, pay to level. Level 7, you get another pay to level, and that's a T-34 for the Soviets and the Panzer 3N for the Germans. Level 8, you get bombers, aka anti-tank gunners. For the Soviets, you get the PTRS 41. Germans, you get the GRB 39. Radio operators at level 9. For the Soviets, you get the SVT 38. Germans, you get the Gewehr 41. Attack pilots, this is yet another paid level. Attack pilots for the Soviet Union, you get the SU-2, also known as the M82. For the Germans, you get the JU-87D3, another Stuka. Level 11, you get a DP-27 as a machine gun. Germans, you get the MG-34. Mortarmen, level 12, this is yet another paid level. For the Soviets, you get the RM-40. The Germans, you get the Grandwaffe 39. Level 13, you get tankers level 2. For the Soviets, you get the KV-1L11. And the Germans, you get the Panzer IV F2. Level 14, you get the Trooper 2. And for the Germans, for the Soviets, my bad, you get the sniper, the Mosin rifle with a grenade launcher. And the exact same thing for the Germans, except for that rifle is the Kar-98K and not the Mosin. Level 15, it's yet another paid level, and for the Soviets you get the SVT-40. Germans you get the ZH-29. 16, you get the Assaulters level 2. I'm looking to see. Okay. If you look at this part, there is no Assaulter level 1s. Except for medics? But let's get back. Level 16 you get Assaulter level 2s, you get the PPSH-42, you get the MP-40, for the Germans. Level 17 you get the Fighter Pilots 2, you get the P-40E-1, and for the Germans you get the IAR-81C. Level 18, you get the Snipers level 2. The Soviets get the Sniper SVT-38 as a sniper rifle. Germans get the pre-war Kar-98K with the sniper mount. Level 19, you get the Gunners 2, and that is paid at level. DT-29 for the Germans, MG-42 for the... DT-27 for the Soviets, MG-42 for the Germans. Flamethrowers. Level 20, you get the ROKS, and both sides just get the flamethrower, essentially. 21, you get the Thompson for the Soviets, and the Dudva M39 for the Germans, or I should say Germany and Romania. Level 22 is another paid level, and that's a T-34E STZ, and for the Germans you get the Panzer IV G. Attacker Pilots 3, you get the A-20 G-25, and then after that, and the Posits 2633. Posits 633 for the Germans. For Assaulter level 3s, you have the PPSH-41 for both Germany and the Axis. For both Soviets and the Axis. For the Engineers, then you get at level 25 you get Engineers level 2. You get the AVT-40, and for the Germans you get the MKB-42. What in the name of? I'm sorry. Okay, as AVT-40, okay, I can deal with it. MKB-42, once again. Highly experimental weapons being put in again. Level 26, you get the Sniper level 3, and guess what? We get the Sniper AVS-36. And for the Germans, we get the MKB-42H. What in the name of... So essentially like the late game, the Germans are just not going to be only spamming engineers and snipers now. They have a better alternative, and that is just straight outright spamming engineers. I don't know how the... Okay, actually no, they can also be spamming assaulters with PPSH-41s. At this point, in the early game, the Soviets... At the early game, the Soviets don't stand a pretty good chance. The Germans have better, in my mind, better rifles, although you can argue that the Mosins are better. It really depends on you. Then the Germans have the MP-28, the Soviets have the PPD-34-38, but that's only at level 2. Level 3, it's nothing specific. Level 4, if you're pay to win, good for you. Well, pay to level to be exact. Fighter pilots, the Germans pretty much have the advantage, BF-109, or I think. Gunners, level 6, the Germans have the advantage. And then everything else after that, the GRB, the GRB, GRB 39. Yeah, the Germans have the advantage. I'm not saying that PTRS. Actually, no, I am saying the PTRS sucks. Yeah, actually, no, the PTRS. Depends on what you do with the two weapons. Radio operators, the Gewehr 41, SVT 38. It really depends on you. I honestly would choose the SVT 38, but then you have level 11. The Germans get the MG 34, Soviets get the DP 27. After that, you get tanks, in which the Soviets get KV 1s, Germans get Panzer 4s. At this point, my question is, how the heck? And then level 16, you get the MP 40 for the Germans. At that point, the Soviets really get somewhat of an advantage. PPSH 41s, and the Germans get SVT 38s. The flamethrowers are pretty similar, so no one really has the advantage. Level 23, you get attack pilots. Both sides, from what I think, they're pretty much the same. But if you're pay to win, level 15, you get a ZH-29, which could be a match for the Soviet semi-automatic weapons. Like, look at what's going on in Moscow right now. And then level 19, the Germans are going to win again in the terms that if you get paid a level, Germans get MG42s, Soviets get DT29s. Like, what the heck? 29. Both sides are going to have the advantage. PPSH 41s and PPSH 41s for both sides. Like, and level 22, yeah, the Germans are going to win in tanks. Panzer 4G, like, it's the exact same Panzer 4G in Berlin. Level 25 engineers. There's no way the heck in Germany is not winning. Like, they essentially have STG-44s, STG-44 for their snipers, their engineers. They have PPSH-41s for their assaulters, and for their gunners, they have MG-42s. Like, at this point, yes, I'm not trying to say the Soviets had the disadvantage, but with the addition of these, essentially MKB or STGs, the Germans are going to dominate the late game. There's not really going to be much for the Soviets to do except for really pray at the early game. But even at the early game, they don't really have that many good weapons. Their only good weapons are the PPSH 34, 38, maybe the PTRS 41, maybe the SVT 38, maybe the DP 20. Actually, no, never mind. Against the MG 34, yeah, it's gonna have a hard time. But after that, and maybe a KV-1, but like I said, with a KV-1, the only thing that a person has to do is go under the tank, throw an explosive pack, and wait for it to detonate. At least I hope that's what happens. But, okay, level 16, maybe they have the advantage in SPVSH 42s, but after that point, it's really hard for the Soviets. And honestly, I kind of think that we were all expecting this at this point. Like, guys, we already kind of know that what both sides are gonna have for both sides are gonna have. So it's pretty much no big surprise that both sides are just gonna be straight outright, just getting straight outright these weapons for both sides. So nothing interesting to talk about, especially not with the campaign. And at this point, I'm really looking forward to the Pacific. Would I be personally playing the Stalingrad? I might, but just not for the weapons. I'll be playing for Stalingrad because of, well, one, probably the experience, and two, probably because of the new mechanics that we have in soldier customization and stuff like that. But if you really want me to play Stalingrad for the grind, yeah, no, I'd rather be playing Tunisia or Berlin. But so, and honestly, I don't like this system of playing to level up. Like, before, I think the system before was better in the sense that, like, everyone has the exact same upgrades. Like, at this point, it looks like really the people who pay to win or pay to level at this point are gonna have the big advantage in terms of leveling and in terms of weapons, because a lot of these weapons, the free-to-play the free-to-play player does not have. Honestly, I think although we were pretty much hyped for the beginning, I think that this system isn't really working, but at the same time, it propels Enlisted to get you guys to buy this. Honestly, I honestly wouldn't do that. I honestly wouldn't. I personally, I didn't pay for the pre-order bundle, which by the way is out. It's for $29.99. It includes the Stalingrad full access campaign, includes the Soviet tanks, the flamethrower ones we just talked about. I talked about in the last episode. For the last Stalingrad is coming up episode. For those who haven't seen that, please watch that. But honestly, I honestly like the old system in which the campaigns were like essentially free to play. You just have to spend your time. But yeah, that is the weapons. Honestly, nothing surprising, and honestly, I'll rather be waiting for the Pacific. But that's it. Have a great day, guys. And if you're wondering if when I'll be releasing a video on the Pacific, it's gonna be coming out very, very, very soon. But that's it for today, guys. Really kind of disappointed of what I'm seeing in terms of weapons, but that is kind of expected, guys. It's Germany versus Soviets again. But that is pretty much it for this episode. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Now, before you leave, I would like to thank you very much for watching this video. I would be honored if you could like and subscribe to the channel. Remember, more videos are coming out, so it is a good idea to click on that notification button. Anyways, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.